Hey guys, what's going on? Cyberfury here, bringing you guys some AC EVO content. Can you believe the day has finally come where we can get our hands on AC EVO and put it through its paces? It seemed like so far away after all of the months of hype and all the trailers dropping and all the speculation that was happening, but it's finally here and we get to see what Kunos was cooking up. Before I get too carried away in the excitement, however, I do want to give you guys a massive thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys have shown me so much support recently, whether you've watched a video, liked a video, commented, subscribed, or shared a video. It means the absolute world to me that there are people that are actually enjoying this content I'm putting out, and it inspires me to keep going. So thank you again for all of the support recently, and for anybody who has just subscribed or has just stumbled upon this video randomly, welcome in. Hope to see you around here. Now, with the launch of one of the most hyped releases for sim racing as of recently, I'm sure your sub boxes and YouTube homepages are absolutely inundated with everybody's first impressions of AC EVO, and I am not really going to be adding to that pile, hopefully not too much here. I wanted to go a bit of a different direction with this video, and instead of telling you my first impressions, which I'm sure will either match up with 90% of all the other videos out there, or call into question some opinions I may have about certain things about how this game plays, because at the end of the day, I'm not a race car driver. I'm just a dude who has driven cars for a long time now, but I have never, for example, driven an Abarth around Brands Hatch, at least not in real life. However, if you were looking for some kind of first impression, I would say that I could sum it up using one word, which is whelmed. Whelmed while leaning to the side of pretty much almost underwhelmed, despite the fact that we got notice ahead of time what was going to be included in this kind of early alpha, beta, early access period. The fact that the servers are offline and the game is perpetually in offline mode is still really a big hit in my opinion. They did put out a hotfix or a patch, whatever you want to call it, to bring all of the cars into the offline mode so that we don't actually get shorted any content that we were promised, which is a great start, and it's great to be able to try the different cars back to back on the different track combos. The big thing in my mind is that there isn't really too much to do. With the AI in its current state, this basically becomes hot lapping the game, which is fine for some people that only want to get a feel for the physics and get a feel for how this game plays. It just feels like a bummer that the license tests aren't ready yet. They are coming, and I'm sure within a week from now, this video will already be outdated in terms of that comment, so I'm not really going to hold up too much on that aspect. It just is what it is, and it kind of feels a little underwhelming. That's all. So instead, I want to take this opportunity to talk about more the things that actually excite me about the future of AC EVO. Kunos has put out the roadmap for what they want to accomplish here and kind of the timelines as to when those things are happening. But assuming that they can actually nail the execution of these items, I think these are going to be the most exciting features coming to AC EVO, at least in my opinion. Starting off the list is actually the breadth of the scope of cars that are going to be available in this game. Already you have a really nice mixture of road cars, racing cars, and kind of everything in between so far. So it's going to be really nice to see them flesh out that list even further, because the driving and the physics feel great. I'm sure you've heard that from every other video regarding AC EVO, but it really is true. It really does feel nice to drive. And this forms a great foundation for them to build upon, and gives me hope to see the level of detail brought to future cars that are coming up in upcoming updates. Zooming in just a little further on this first point, in particular, it's the road cars that I am super excited about. Now, don't get me wrong, the more race car archetyped cars are still lots of fun. I had a blast absolutely barreling down Bathurst in the GT2 that's already in this game, hoping not to die on every corner. But road cars are rarely given time to shine in these sims, and as it stands right now, if I really wanted to go drive a GT style car, there's a plethora of other games that you could just jump into right now without having to wait for anything with AC EVO. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't include them, as we absolutely should. They're tons of fun and a lot of people will gravitate towards them, myself included at times. I'm just saying that it's nice to see road cars have their own time in the spotlight, or at the minimum, share the spotlight with these other cars that get a lot of attention elsewhere. Number 2 on my list is absolutely the multiplayer component of this game. In the past, they mentioned partnering with services like SimGrid, and I'm sure eventually LFM will also partner with them in some way, shape, or form to bring ranked racing in kind of the way that we have it now in other AC games, which for me is kind of the quote-unquote magic of a lot of online racing. It's nice to be able to hop onto a service where you know that racing might not be the cleanest, but it's also not the most ill-intentioned either. Every time I boot this game up, I just want to hop into a multiplayer race so bad, especially after racing AI and seeing the kind of battles that you can have with the AI. I just really want to hop in to those races online with other players and give it my best shot, even though, let's be honest, I'll probably get my butt kicked a lot. Now, having raced on the SimGrid previously on the console version of ACC, I do know that there's a certain level of quality that they will bring to the table, and it will help heighten the experience of AC EVO even further. My only hope, or wish if you want to call it that, and if this video should ever reach anybody who's involved at either Kunos or SimGrid or LFM, it's please don't shun or don't turn away from the road cars, at least in rookie races. These road cars are going to offer some great races and some great battling. They're a lot of fun to drive, and I just really hope they don't get overlooked for 14 different races of GT3s and then one MX5 race where you kind of already know what to expect from other games. But for the time being, with everything else, we'll have to shelve it on the wish list, and we will have to wait and see what actually happens when the service gets introduced a few months from now. The final thing on my excitement list here is the whole idea of them bringing a Gran Turismo style experience to AC EVO. With Gran Turismo games, whether you're a big fan of the physics system or not, you can't deny that there's a lot of depth that goes into those games, and there's a lot of activities that you can do. There's racing against other players in multiplayer, there's racing AI in the career, there's doing license tests or time trials, there's creating content with the photography tools, and there's the whole car collection system, which has probably a lot of mixed opinions about how it was implemented. There's going to be people on the side of that it's a good addition to the game because it gives you something to grind for and doesn't just make it kind of endlessly grinding for nothing. And the other side of players, which kind of see that it was tailored a lot towards pushing microtransactions and making you kind of grind endlessly for these cars. But regardless of what you might think about it, it does help push player retention and keeps players coming back longer than they probably would otherwise if either there wasn't as much content or if everything was unlocked from the start. Now, this all comes down to whether or not they can actually pull it off. With a GT-like experience, there's a lot of details there, there's a lot of depth that has to be developed, and there's honestly a lot of things that have to be added to this foundation that they've built with the alpha, beta, early access build. But I'd be willing to bet that if they can get within, I would say, 2/3 of Gran Turismo 7 in terms of depth or in terms of things to do and things to keep you busy, then this game is absolutely going to explode in popularity. And knowing myself, if they can get that close to the Gran Turismo style experience, I can see myself easily sinking tons and tons of hours into this and basically juggling this with Gran Turismo, or if it eventually gets to that point, even maybe passing on Gran Turismo to play this more. It all just is going to come down to what there is available, and of course what different races they're going to push on the online service. If it all ends up being kind of the same race and it doesn't really offer the same kind of variety that the base game does, then there's going to be a spot for both games for sure. And there's also the point to make that until this game actually does make its way onto consoles, then they are absolutely not going to be able to take over that GT space. They have to actually get this onto consoles, which is going to come probably way later than what is proposed in the roadmap. So we're looking at probably next year at the earliest. So saying that it's going to completely replace Gran Turismo is a bit of a long shot away and kind of a confident statement or very optimistic statement. However, knowing Kunos, knowing that they are actually a developer that will keep at this for a while, I can definitely see them getting close, if not getting all the way there to what probably we're all envisioning. when we say Gran Turismo-like experience. All in all, there are a lot of things to remain optimistic about and to look forward to, with the roadmap being posted both on the Steam page as well as in the game itself when you boot it up. And I know I'll be following this game very closely for pretty much any excuse to boot it back up. I've been having a blast so far, and just driving around has been so enjoyable, regardless of the context you're driving around in, whether it's a practice session, a hot lap session, racing against the AI. It's just been overall just an enjoyable experience. So while I yearn for the multiplayer functionality to come, and while they fix the servers so that we can actually do things like the license test and kind of fully explore all the things that Kunos had in store for us for early access, I'm really curious to see what you guys are actually excited for. What are you looking forward to? What sort of things do you wish they would have done differently for early access? Let me know down in the comments below. And I want to send a huge thanks to everybody who has made it this far in the video. I also want to again reiterate my thank yous from the bottom of my heart to anybody who has supported the channel as of late. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up or even subscribe if you feel the need to. If you didn't enjoy the video, let me know down below why. I'm always looking to improve this content and make it more enjoyable for everybody. And having you guys voice your concerns or voice your constructive criticism means the world to me. As always, I've been Cyber Fury. You guys have been awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.